Okay, well, in the commercial break, the NASDAQ turned negative. So did the S&P, but let's just call the S&P flat for the moment. The Dow is still positive along with the Russell 2000. Okay, so if the Super Bowl is known as a huge point gainer for sports betting, March Madness is a slam dunk. According to the American Gaming Association, legal betting on the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments, a.k.a. March Madness, is expected to hit $2.7 billion this season alone. And the world's largest online betting company is already ahead of the game. Gambling group Flutter Entertainment projects U.S. earnings will more than triple this year as it continues to expand its American business. The FanDuel parent says it expects U.S. sales to grow 36% year over year. And they are not the only ones eager to profit on college basketball. Barstool Sports founder and president Dave Portnoy has struck a multi-year sports betting partnership with DraftKings. He's here in a Fox Business exclusive. Dave, I mean, March Madness, it's infected your brain. You've made a crazy Yukon bet of $600,000. You think the men are going to take it all the way?
Yeah, crazy like a fox. I do. I bet them at 4-1, basically. They're down to 2-1. So I think they're far and away the best team in the tournament. I hope I'm right. My last three big bets have all cashed. So knock on wood, hopefully this one hits too.
Well, let's not. Yeah, Michigan football. That was a
Michigan
crazy.
Football. I'm a Michigan grad.
Oh, exactly. So, Dave, let's bring the women into this. Yukon women, obviously with Caitlin Clark, have been on an unbelievable run. Do you think they go all the way so that it's a double Yukon men-women winner here? Well,
I got to correct you on one thing. Caitlin Clark's on Iowa.
I'm sorry, Iowa.
I hope. Yeah.
My bad.
Yukon has Paige buckets, basically, and they're very good. They had a good game, but I'm rooting for Iowa. They have a very tough road to go. I love Caitlin Clark, and she's kind of electrified not only myself, the entire country. I think I saw a stat that the Final Four tickets for women's actually sold faster than the men because of Caitlin Clark. You got Angel Reese, who's a story with LSU, their coach's story at LSU. Then you have South Carolina and Dawn Staley. So the big names, the big stars are all in women's this year.
Well, you know, it's amazing to see the hype and the increase in legal sports betting over March Madness. And you, I am sure, are just as excited to see that you're able to capture some of this. You are the official sports betting partner with FanDuel. Tell me, though, because I look at this, and we've covered this sector for quite some, DraftKings, rather. I'm batting 1,000 here. Sorry. When I've covered this sector, I look at this and I see that the actual customer is very fickle here. They're looking for the platform that offers the best bonus. What ideas are you bringing to the table that will make your bet on that company do better than the rest?
Yeah, so I think that's a fair point. The gambler is smart. So if you get a better line, better bonus at one company, you may have people switching back and forth. I mean, we look for unique ways to partner with DraftKings and maybe offer things that normal companies or other companies, competitors can't do. For example, I was in Arizona at the Arizona Coyotes game the other night with a group called the Ice People. And they just bet the over. It's a community that can only really be found with DraftKings. So that's one example for our launch with DraftKings. We did a live stream where people could go free money, basically, but gets them into the ecosystem where we had to hit 42 straight free throws. So you try to come up with ideas that can't be replicable maybe with the other companies. But to your point, you're always going to have the sharps, the people who are like, oh, there's a half a point better here or there. And then it's who has the best app. I think DraftKings has the best app in the game, so we're super happy to be partnering with them.
There's always the dark side, obviously, of gambling. That's been as old as time. We know about Gamblers Anonymous. That is a story that has been well covered. But now that it's so accessible, that becomes a part of the conversation. I'm less interested in that and the story about Ohtani and the Dodgers and how his interpreter has been busted for working with bookmakers. What do you make of that scandal? Is it a tempest in a teapot? What do you think is really at the heart of what happened there?
Who knows? That's a wild story.
Right?
And the point about it being readily available, you know, it's like anything. I personally think you're better off legalizing it because people were betting before it was legalized. They were just betting illegally with bookies and it wasn't being regulated. What Ohtani is doing, or did or didn't do is madness. I mean, why somebody who makes that much money seemingly doesn't know what to do with it would ever be involved in a scandal like this. But at the same time, how's his interpreter just steal it, which is what they're saying now. If it ends up that he was gambling, and I don't care if he's gambling out of the sports, by the way, only if he's gambling on baseball, it'll be one of the biggest stories in the history of the game, if not the biggest.
Oh, sure. I mean, this is still developing, but I'm just as perplexed as you are. One of the things that we at the Claman Countdown love to focus on are entrepreneurs at heart, and that really is very much you. And I look at all of the things that you've done and started, not just Barstool Sports, but the pizza effort that you do, where you do the pizza taste tests at all these places around the nation. Can you directly correlate, Dave, your taste tests and your ratings with successes of some of these businesses who have gotten a high number from you?
Yeah, I think you'd have to ask the pizza places, but I would say I'm the #1 food critic in the world in terms of if I give a good review. And it sounds insane to be like, how's this idiot become such a top-notch food critic? But it really has. If we give a high score, 8+ or something, it changes the trajectory of these pizza places. Now, it's really hard to get an 8+. I'm pretty strict. But yeah, the places that have gotten gigantic scores, I think they'll tell you their lives and businesses have been changed for the better forever. So it's a lot of responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility.
Oh, yes, Spidey.
World.
I know, Spidey. You got to try Brooklyn's Pizzeria in Hackensack, New Jersey. That is the best, in my opinion. You're One Bite Pizza. You've got a frozen pizza business yourself. Are you planning on having more businesses sprout up from your ideas?
Yeah, so we're not always the most well thought out group. It's always organic, but we launched a pizza festival. It was the first year we did it last year. We had 5,000 people and basically a hurricane in Brooklyn at a baseball stadium. But to this day, it was the best pizza event in the history of the world. We had everybody, Sally's, Pepe's, Lucali, places that you would say, you can't get all these pizza places under one roof. We did it, and we'll be coming back for year 2 again in the fall.
It's almost like, and I don't want to sit here and fangirl, but you've got this Midas touch that even extends to your dog. You got a rescue dog. You named her Miss Peaches, and you got merch, sold it all about Miss Peaches merch, and you are donating the money that you've made so far to an animal charity. How is it really is it 500,000 still? Is that the latest number we have, or is it more now?
No, that's up to date. So we've raised about 5. So we've sold a lot, and the profit's 500 grand, all now going to different charities. I believe, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it, but I'm going to say it anyways. I believe May 20th, the mayor of Miami is going to dedicate May 20th as Miss Peaches Day for animal rescue. She's going to get the bone to the city in Miami. So that's very exciting. But yeah, she's more famous and popular than I am, and rightfully so.
Dave, you ever thought of taking your entire operation public?
Well, when we were owned by Penn, it was sort of a public company. You know, I've thought about it, but I hate being public because then you got every Joe, Tom, Dick, and Harry who can tell me what to do, and I'd rather them stay out of my business.
I get it. And finally, hockey. I know that you guys have some big hockey coverage on Barstool Sports. I'm a hockey fan. I know it's early. We don't even know what's happening, but give me a sense of how you feel about the new rule changes that have come in the past year and a half. If they speed up the game, they get more people interested in hockey.
I think hockey's better than it ever been. It's more high scoring, goals. So I think it's been good for the game. It's still one of those sports. You try to make it viewer friendly, but it's really built for in person. But I think hockey is stronger than ever right now.
Yeah, when Fox had hockey, we had the glow puck. You could follow the puck around.
Which was crazy.
Oh, it was
and then
great.
They had the lightning puck. It was nuts.
I know. Dave, good to see you. Thank you very much. Good luck with all of your businesses and endeavors.